Steelers Extra Point Show, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome live inside the KDKA studios following an impressive win by the Steelers today in AFC North action. Steelers come away with an impressive 38-7 win against the Cleveland Browns and keeps them perfect on the season at 5 wins, no losses. Bob Pompeani here with Chris Hoke in studio. And this was a big game because it was hot in the kitchen, as Mike Tomlin said this week. It's really hot in the kitchen. No Freddie Kitchens, he's gone, but they were in Cleveland's kitchen all day today, Chris. And from a defensive point of view, let's start there first. Once again, pressure a lot. Baker Mayfield had rib injuries coming into this game. They got worse today.
Yeah, they did, and Cameron Hayward said it good this week. He said, we want to inflict good punishment on Baker Mayfield. And when you talk about the kitchen being hot, the trenches were hot today for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They completely dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage in the trenches. You talk about the #1 rushing offense in the NFL coming to Heinz Field. The Cleveland Browns were averaging 5.5 yards a carry, 188 yards a game. Today in Heinz Field, 75 total yards rushing, 3.4 yard average. This was a complete beatdown on the line of scrimmage against the Cleveland Browns.
It really was. That was going to be the big story in this game. Which of the teams in the trenches would win? The Steelers come away with a resounding win, and they're now 5-0. We have a lot to cover here in the next hour and a half. We're going to have a lot of player interviews. We're going to take your calls a little bit later, but we also have Mike Tomlin and his press conference and some concerning news about Devin Bush, who left this game with an injury. So let's hear from Mike Tomlin after the game today as the Steelers go to 5-0.
I'm really excited for our group, man. That was varsity ball today. They stepped up big, really kind of all across the board and met a challenge versus a very good and a team that was very hot. Appreciative of their efforts. It's not without consequence. Devin Bush appears to have a significant knee injury. He's being evaluated. Pouncey went down with a foot. He was able to get through the majority of the game with it, but we pulled him at the end. As you guys saw him come off, and Mike Hilton's got a shoulder that needs to be evaluated. But can't say enough about the efforts of our guys. Part of being good in this league is identifying problems and eliminating them, hopefully before they happen. But once they happen, you got to eliminate them quickly. We acknowledge that third down was an issue for us last week defensively. I thought they answered that challenge well and emphatically today. It was necessary to slow down a dangerous Browns attack, one that had been ringing up a bunch of points per game. Just can't say enough about the efforts, though, all the way around in all 3 phases of the game. Appreciative, and now we transition our attention toward the battle that awaits us in Tennessee. Questions?
Mike Pursuta.
Mike, dramatic change in third down success at first blush. What caused that turnaround?
We had a better plan. It starts with us as coaches, and then the guys performed better, and they finished it off. But we both were JV last week, players and coaches, and we got better this week.
Jerry Dulac.
Mike, as you mentioned, it was kind of all 3 phases, not just third down, but you stopped them 3 times on fourth down. You slowed that top rushing attack and held them to 7. As complete a defensive performance as you've had?
You know, we did what we needed to do today. I hadn't painted with a broad brush yet or compared it to other performances. This is a group that thrived on running the football, man, to the tune of 188 yards per game. We didn't wait to the end of the week to acknowledge that we couldn't allow that to happen. And so today is really kind of born out of our commitment to minimizing that element of play, and it came together for us.
Joe Rutter.
Yeah, Mike, what does Minkah's early interception return do for the team to get you the 10-point lead there?
I don't know what it does for us. I think it sent a message to them that, third down wasn't going to be easy sledding today, and we needed it, obviously. But Minkah's an A player. He plays A. It was a significant play. He's capable of delivering those type of plays, and we'll just keep snapping the ball, and we'll keep watching him do it. That's the type of player that he is.
Mark Caboli.
Mike, that opening drive, you only had a field goal, but it seemed like you wanted to establish your physicality. Was that the case, and did you like what you see there?
We were just interested in moving it. We want to have balance. We want to run it. We want to throw it. Physicality is an element of play regardless of what we're doing, running or throwing. More than anything, we want to move the ball down the field and score.
Brooke Pryor.
Mike, you guys were 4-0 entering this game, but a win hadn't come against an opponent with a winning record. What kind of statement do you guys make today beating this Browns team?
we're not in the statements. We'll let you guys make the statements. We're just going to line up and play against those that we're scheduled to play against, and they were next. And I'm glad we're able to get the job done. But, you know, we got a significant challenge in the form of the Tennessee Titans coming up this week. And so that's life in this game, man. We're appreciative. And more importantly, we're really excited, man. You can't take anything for granted in this environment. We appreciate all the sacrifice that everybody's making in an effort to keep this ball rolling, man. And it just needs to continue.
Dejan Kovacevic.
Mike, what did you see of Robert Spillane in this game when he came in, what he was able to do, and what can you say between him and what you liked about Ulysses Gilbert in training camp that you might have if Devin's out for a while?
You know, Spillane more than answered the bell, but we got a great deal of confidence in him. He's a capable guy. You know, guys that make plays in special teams, that's usually a precursor to them making plays on defense. And since we brought him up the middle of last year, he's been a consistent performer for us. So I don't think any of us are surprised with quality play from him. If Devin is down a while, again, those will be called to step up. He'll be among them. Yuli Gilbert will be among them. Marcus Allen will be among them. We'll put together a formula that will allow us to function in the interim. Believe it.
Jeff Hathorn.
Mike, what led to the improved run game today, and could you speak to the game from James Conner?
You know, I don't know if it was improved. You know, we've run it when we wanted to run it essentially all year. We desire to have balance, and, you know, that's how we get down.
Alan Saunders.
Hey, Mike, what do you think went into your success in stopping the run, and how much was getting out to an early lead a big part of taking that away from them?
You know, our bigs. This game was going to be defined by the bigs. Our bigs' ability to stop the run, our bigs' ability to protect Ben and win the line of scrimmage for us in the run game. And, you know, we talked openly about it all week. A synopsis of this game in a nutshell is our big people on both sides of the ball really answered the challenge and played football.
Final one from Adi Kinkaball.
Well, they certainly did, and here is the Steeler injury report you heard. Mike Tomlin talk about Devin Bush, quote, significant injury. Normally, Mike Tomlin wouldn't mention significant. He normally says we'll find out and evaluate on Tuesday, but that does not sound good. Left the game, never returned. Mike Hilton, a shoulder injury. Marquise Pouncey has a foot injury. Again, we'll get updates on his press conference, which you can watch every Tuesday on Pittsburgh CW. But the Steelers did a good job of protecting Ben Roethlisberger, who continues to be extremely efficient. And that was one of the things he said that he was looking forward to doing this year, not turning the ball over. 11 touchdowns, 1 interception through 5 games. And that's why the Steelers are where they are right now as the top team in the AFC, along with Tennessee, who they're going to meet next week. Let's talk a little bit about that injury to Devin Bush. We'll bring in Rich Walsh, who's live at the stadium, who was there all day. Chris Hoke in studio. And Rich, we'll start with you. I mean, I thought Robert Spillane played well. But the key is, can he do this over an extended period of time? Ulysses Gilbert was their best player, I thought, at least one of them, based on the reports we heard about training camp. So it's not Devin Bush, just like when they lost Ryan Shazier. You can't replace that person per se, but do they have enough, do you think, defensively in the middle to at least navigate through his injury?
I think they have enough here, but I do think that they're going to go out and try to find someone out there. I'm sure Kevin Colbert's checking the waiver wire right now. But when it happened, I thought to myself, he's the one guy you cannot afford to lose because the depth inside. And your next guy up is Robert Spillane. You have Gilbert. They're talking about potentially using Marcus Allen there, maybe using extra safety. But right now, inside linebacker, and he's a big-time playmaker in the middle. You can't replace that even with a free agent if you bring in. And I don't think there's a guy that's even in his anywhere near what kind of player he is on this team right now. So this is potential, I think, a huge loss for the Steelers defense.
Oh, there's no question it's huge. Like I say, if they can navigate just through it, they have enough playmakers around that area. But I thought Spillane, that was an encouraging performance. Form tackling. He also made a tremendous hit on a screen pass, Chris. So do you think they have enough with those guys behind Devin Bush?
Well, I think it's very difficult to go out and bring a guy in and expect him to come in the first week and play. You're going to see a guy like Vince Williams get a few more snaps in passing downs. Robert Spillane played well today. He had some big hits, but was a game changer, I believe, on a couple plays. He did struggle struggle a couple times. That big run in the fourth quarter, the 19-yard run was his gap, got tied up with the offensive lineman. You're going to see other guys step in. It'll be linebacker by committee. But nobody will be able to fill the shoes of Devin Bush. When you look at the way that Devin Bush is able to run from sideline to sideline, he plays with that speed that none of these linebackers have. It's going to be a big hole in the middle. And we're not talking about the communication. He has become comfortable with making the calls, communicating with the front, communicating with the back end. It's going to be a big loss for the Steelers if he's gone for a long period of time.
Yeah, especially when they're playing so well right now. But again, they have a lot of playmakers on defense. We saw that today. Minkah Fitzpatrick with a big pick six. We haven't heard much from him, but mostly because people aren't throwing in his direction. When they do, he makes plays, and he did today. So the Steelers find themselves, after this win today, in pretty good shape now in terms of the AFC. Remember, now there's only one bye week when it comes to the top team, and it'll be the team with the best record. Right now, they have it, along with Tennessee. Final score today was 38-7 as the Steelers move to 5-0. And with that 5-0, again, those two teams are the only undefeated teams left in the AFC. Steelers, Tennessee, and they're going to meet next week, and you're going to watch it here on KDKA. We'll talk about that a little later in the program. But when we come back, we have player interviews, more analysis, and then later we will take your calls as well. Your thoughts about the Steelers' 5-0 start, the first one since 1978 when they started 7-0 en route to a Super Bowl. We'll continue right here on the Extra Point Show. KDKA TV, this is your place to be as the Steelers go to 5-0.
This is our battleground. This is why we train and train and train. Why we suit up, take the field. This is game day every day. Our opponents are the toughest out there, but we take on tough. Rise beyond the challenge. Because when it's all on the line, we're on call. This is our team and yours. UPMC, life-changing medicine.
Grit, determination, desire to be the best, or as we call it, going to work. But good luck getting the job done without the right tools. You'll need an F-150 with best-in-class payload and plenty of capability to do it right. That's how you become the best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh and the official truck of your Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm Ryan Shazier. In 2016, I didn't vote. I didn't think it mattered. I won't make that mistake again. One thing I learned in life, you have to make the most of every opportunity you get. Right now, you have the opportunity to make positive change in your community by voting. When you vote, you use your voice and you flex your power to make change. Want change? Go vote. Use your power.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
In business, you have to be able to shift, pivot, adapt, then do it all over again. Comcast Business gives you fast, reliable internet on the nation's largest gig speed network. And now for a limited time, you can also get fast shipping with Amazon Business Prime Essentials. So no matter what comes next, you'll always be ready to bounce forward. Get started with powerful internet and ask about select plans with a year of Amazon Business Prime Essentials on us. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get a $100 prepaid card. Call or go online today. Comcast Business.
Welcome back to Steelers Extra Point, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
Welcome back as we continue live right here on KDKA TV, and it has been a brownout in Pittsburgh. The Browns still have not won a football game in Pittsburgh since 2003. That's 17 years. Roethlisberger's 13-0 at home against them. It's pretty amazing, the dominance. And a lot of people in Cleveland thought this would be the time that they would come in and do some damage today, but the Steelers set the tone early. First drive of the game still didn't result in points. Touchdowns, I mean, but it was a 3-point, and then the big play by Minkah Fitzpatrick. We're going to hear from him coming up, but right now we're going to hear from Ben Roethlisberger after another good performance at quarterback. Again, no interceptions, 1 touchdown. He's off to a great start. Here's Ben after the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was, Jerry, it was one of those weird feelings because it didn't feel like we were doing a lot on offense. I mean, yeah, we ended up scoring, I think, 31 points on offense. I know that the defense got a touchdown for us, but it just never really felt like we did much. But, that's what is special about this team and the offense. It's kind of everyone contributes, everyone makes plays. And, today James made a big play on the touchdown for us.
Jeff Hathorn.
And did it feel like in the second half you were playing downhill when you speak to the play of the O-line?
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan. In the second half, come out, with field position and really just start running the ball and pounding it and grinding and kind of our 4-minute offense with a lot of time left. But we've really excelled in that area of football so far this year, and that really is the 5 guys up front. Throw JC in there, plus Hawk coming in as a big guy, the tight end. So we didn't have to throw many in the second half when you got a lead like that. It felt like old Bill Cowher offense.
Dejan Kovacevic.
Ben, do you feel like, especially early on with the way they seem to be putting extra attention on your slants, that you needed and did connect downfield and on sidelines and a lot of the stuff that you've been focused on lately?
Yeah, they made some good plays early on some RPOs, which is just quick, our quick passing game. And so they batted some down. They got in and jumped them. They were ready for it today. And so we decided to take some shots down the field. And, I know James had 2 big ones down the field. And so that was neat to see. It's neat to see guys making plays down the yard.
Didi Kinkabala.
Ben, you've played with #1 defenses before, and I know you've said that you do enjoy watching your defense. What is it about this group that makes you think back to those championship defenses, and what do you in particular like about this defense?
They're fun. They're special. They're obviously getting turnovers. They're scoring. And there were a handful of times, I don't know the stats, but there were a couple of times a day that it was either 3rd and short or 4th and short, and you just felt like they were going to stop them. I mean, sometimes you're just like, okay, hope they get a stop here or whatever. You just felt it feels different sometimes with our defense because they're aggressive. They get after it. They made plays on the back end today, and I said after the game, I'm glad I don't have to play on Sundays.
Mark Gaboli.
Hey, Ben, I think you ran 5-7 plays, and all of a sudden you're up 10-0. Does that change how you move forward with some of your calls because you had such a big lead early?
Yeah, we definitely I felt like we did do that a little bit. But, we switched gears a little bit there, went to a no huddle, I think 2 straight series, and went down and scored. James caught the long one, which I got to give credit to Josh Dobbs on the sideline. We were talking about plays, and he had mentioned calling a play that we basically scored a touchdown on. So I got to give Dobbs credit for that, talking on the sideline. And, we picked up the tempo. We changed it. We started throwing it a little bit. And then you get that lead like you talk about, and you can really back it down and just grind them.
That's Ben Roethlisberger after the game. 101 passer rating today. Still very good. His career best this season would be, based on 5 games, 109. He's never posted that over the course of his career. He also talked glowingly about this defense. And Chris Hoke, that brings you in. They stopped plays on 3rd and 2. That 4th and 1 was a big one because Hunt had nowhere to go. I mean, as soon as he got the ball, he was hit. It was a loss, and they go 8 plays, 28 yards to put this game away. That 3rd down and 4th down defense was so much better than last week. What was the difference?
Well, just controlling the line of scrimmage. I really believe that this defense was challenged by Coach Tomlin and the coaching staff in every area of the defense. 3rd down, a short yardage. When you saw on that 3rd down and 4th down, you saw Stephon Tuitt take Chris Hubbard and knock him in the backfield. Kareem Hunt ran right into his rear end. Then you had 2 other defensive linemen, Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu, knock him back. There was nowhere to go, and it gives the linebackers an ability to shoot the gaps and get in the backfield and help out. This was a total effort by this defense from the front end to the back end, Bob.
It really was, on a team that was scoring in the 30s just about every game. He came here today and could manage only 7 points, and that was it. Steelers improved to 5-0. We continue with player reaction. We got Minkah Fitzpatrick on his pick 6. That's coming up, as well as your phone calls. We go until 6 o'clock. Glad you joined us here on the Extra Point Show, KDKA TV. Heinz Field, the scene of another Steelers win.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs.
Right now, get 0% APR for 75 months or $2,750 customer cash on the purchase of a new 2020 Sportage.
Your wireless, your rules, your savings. When you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together, you could save up to $400 a year. So choose from flexible wireless data options on the most reliable network, now with 5G included at no extra cost. Current Xfinity customers, add Xfinity Mobile and save on your other Xfinity services. Plus, you can also save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Call to learn more.
We're Steelers. We take what nature provides. We work in what others can't handle. We put it through extremes others can't imagine. And we create something extraordinary. Then we share it with others so they can make their own amazing. Now, Steelers are partnering again, working to bring remarkable to the next generation so they too can be extraordinary.
It's Ford Truck Month, and if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now, get great deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 43 years.
Returning lessees get a 2020 F-150 for $299 a month for 24 months, plus a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Visit a neighborhood Ford store dealer near you.
Welcome back to Steelers Extra Point, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
Welcome back. We continue. Final score once again today, 38-7, a 31-point win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who improved to 5-0. The last time they started the season 5-0 was 1978, when they went 7-0 and they won a Super Bowl. So not that that's a prediction. I'm just saying it's a tremendous start, and they have beaten everyone on their schedule. A lot of thoughts coming into this game today. Well, they took advantage of a weak schedule. Maybe they did, but they didn't lose those games. And today they had a tough opponent, one that was 4-1, and they certainly flexed their muscles en route to that 31-point win. Minkah Fitzpatrick, of course, was big into this. Bud Dupree had a couple of sacks, but Minkah had the pick six. You're going to hear from both of those guys right now.
Just changed up a couple of schematics. Decided to play a little tighter, a little bit more man-to-man, make them throw out of the pocket. And, I think we just did execute it better. I don't really believe we changed a whole lot. We just executed better. We practiced third and medium, third and long, a whole lot more this week in practice, because, we played very poorly last week on third down. So we really wanted to just emphasize that throughout the week. That's what we did, and I think we executed very well this week on third down.
Jerry Dulac, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Minkah, how much did your pick just kind of energize everybody, and it looked like you had your eyes on that the entire time?
Yeah, I think we need to set the tone on defense, whether it was a sack or 3 and out, whatever it may be. We just need to set the tone, and I think pick six on the first drive of the game is definitely the way to do it.
Dale Lawley, I'm going to try you again. DK.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. Minkah, was that play that you intercepted, was that something you had seen on tape at all?
It was just a robber concept. I'm just reading the quarterback, and I was just reading Baker's eyes, and he was looking that way. I leaned that way, threw the ball away, and got it.
All right, last one for this Zoom is going to be Tim Ben's trip.
Minkah, also wondering about the rush defense too. They had such a highly ranked rushing offense coming into this game. I know you guys did a lot on third and long, as you said, but the rush defense looked like it did a very nice job today too.
Yeah, the front seven did a great job. They always do a great job against the run, but this week is really important. They're averaging 200 yards a game, and that's what their offense was based off of. On third down, they're basing on being on schedule, third and short, third and 1, 2s, and they're just running the ball again. But our defense, Bud, TJ, Cam, all those guys, they did a great job, like they normally do, and just shut them down, put them in third and long, uncomfortable situations, and put us in great position on third down.
All right,
every game we play, we try to go out and just be as tough as we can, most physical team on the field.
Burke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Bud, going on the point of emphasis theme here, how important was it for you guys to make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable early, especially knowing that he was dealing with some sore ribs going into the game?
Man, Baker is a good quarterback. At the end of the day, he's just one of those top-notch guys, and respect is due. We just we don't really think about hurting a player. We just go out and just and we hit him a couple times and we know his ribs hurt. Then that's on him how he feel. But we don't intentionally go in trying to hurt somebody.
Chris Adamski, Trib.
Bud, Minkah made a name for himself last year when he joined you guys, making flash plays. He hadn't had any the first 4 weeks. Was he still playing well, and it's good to see him kind of get rewarded that way to get it, or is it due to make an impact?
Yeah, so you got to think about it. Minkah's all-pro level type guy. He gets schemed upon, you know what I'm saying? So our teams peep that what position he's in, where he's at on the field, and they try to go the opposite way, and they try to do things to take advantage of places that he's not at. And so, just making plays, the impact plays all the time. When you make so many splash plays, people are gonna be able to, control that. And so that's what they've been doing the whole time. Today, he just finally got his hands on the ball.
All right, that's about Dupree. A couple of sacks for him today. Remember, he's playing on a franchise tag, and he's playing for even more money next year. Kind of a nice problem to have if you're the Steelers. You could franchise him again if you want to bring him back, but there's so many players playing well and so much money that needs to be spent eventually. But this defense gave up 75 yards rushing today. That's 330 yards rushing in 5 games. Let's bring back Rich Walsh and Chris Hoke to talk about this. And Rich, when you give up that few yardage in the run game, it should make it very easy, or at least better for your secondary. I want to talk about the guys up front, because Cam Hayward today, we haven't talked about him. 8 tackles, 6 solo, couple of hurries. I mean, he was everywhere. 2 it was in the backfield. Alualu's played better than most anyone would have expected. This is a good front 7.
Yeah, definitely. Good secondary, too. I mean, for me, I wanted to mention how I thought Minkah Fitzpatrick set the tone of this game. He was kind of invisible the first 4 weeks, but you could tell, preparation, film room study, he knew exactly where Baker Mayfield was going to go with that. He picked it off, and it really changed the whole game, the way it worked out for the Steelers. And this defense looked next level today. It looked much faster than it did the previous 4 weeks. And talking about being able to stop the run, the Steelers played their best game so far, and they're the class of the AFC North right now, in my opinion. And I just like the way they looked out there today, and fast. That's how I can describe this defense today. Fast.
Yeah, and they're going to have to be fast again next week, because they have an even tougher assignment trying to stop Derrick Henry, who had over 200 all-purpose yards today, including a 94-yard touchdown run. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's talk about that front 7, Chris, because I think Tyson Alualu has been as good as just about anyone in the NFL in his role, and yet Hayward has played exceedingly well at his age, and a lot of people wondered why the Steelers gave him money at his age. Well, now here's your answer.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the front 3 guys, and Tyson Alualu, Stephon Tuitt, and Cam Hayward. They are playing lights-out football, great technique, and what they have, they do not stop. They have a non-stop motor, and they're knocking the offensive linemen back in the backfield. And when you have linebackers who can roam and run, and then you have a defensive line who can control the line of scrimmage, you can run free and make plays. That's what the strength of this front 7. I want to talk about today, though, also, is the 3rd down. Last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles converted 71% of their 3rd downs. Today, the Browns only converted 8% of their 3rd downs. Let's talk about why they only held them to 7 points, why they controlled this game. When a team converts a 3rd down, they get another 3 sets of play, another 3 downs, another set of plays. Today, when they shut them down for 1 of 8, that's where the game was won, was 3rd down and controlling the clock and putting the offense back on the field, who was able to convert and score points.
That's how you do it, and that's how you win time of possession. All right, Rich, we'll check you out later tonight on KDKA News. I know it's going to be a busy week. We got Tennessee to talk about. Real quick, your thought about that game. That's going to be one of the best games of the NFL season so far, without a doubt.
Yeah, no question about that, Bob. And that's the one game that I was nervous about this entire year, even when they were supposed to play a couple weeks ago. This is the game I think that's going to be close. But if this Steelers team plays like it did today, they're going to be tough to beat. I don't know if anyone in the AFC could have beat this team today.
All right, we have an update, too, on Devin Bush, according to Adam Schefter. Thanks, Rich. Out for the season with a torn ACL. So that's your breaking news right now. We knew that it was bad when Mike Tomlin said it was a significant injury. Normally he reserves comment until Tuesday. He didn't hold back. He said it was significant, and now we know through Adam Schefter it is a torn ACL. He is out for the season, and that's a massive blow to a defense that needs Devin Bush, as they needed Ryan Shazier before he was injured. So you got to just keep on going on. And Mike Tomlin always says next man up. That's going to be tested here on the inside of their linebacking core. We have more coming up, including final stats and then your phone calls. A lot to talk about today following a 38-7 Steelers win over the Browns. Back with more analysis and interviews right here live on KDKA TV.
Jason Waller, founder of Power Home Solar, America's fastest growing solar company. We've teamed up with Generac, the nation's largest provider of backup energy systems. Together with our American-made solar panels, you'll lower your energy bill, saving thousands of dollars every year, and you'll protect your home from being without power. Make the call 1-800-SOLAR-POWER and save $2,000. Generac and Power Home Solar, the new #1 team in home energy. Let the sun shine in.
Want to sell your Pittsburgh area home faster and for the best price? Then make it RE/MAX Select Realty. RE/MAX Select agents sell up to 3 times as many homes as other agents. That means more buyers searching your neighborhood right now. Call RE/MAX Select today. We'll meet and list your home tomorrow. Plus, get your free RE/MAX market price evaluation. Selling your home is a big decision. Make it RE/MAX Select Realty. See us now at selecthomefinder.com.
Your wireless, your rules, your savings. When you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together, you could save up to $400 a year. So choose from flexible wireless data options on the most reliable network, now with 5G included at no extra cost. Current Xfinity customers, add Xfinity Mobile and save on your other Xfinity services. Plus, you can also save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Call to learn more.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Gus, you're not scared, are you?
I don't like thunder. Hope there are no monsters.
Did you say eek?
Ooh, Eekaboo, the new scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yeah, with top prizes of 10 grand.
That's a monster of a prize. Keep on scratching.
Welcome back to Steelers Extra Point, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
All right, welcome back. We continue with our postgame analysis. Steelers win. It was pretty much one-sided from the beginning. Cleveland never really in this game, but that's the way the Steelers like it, especially at home, starting quickly. And they didn't score a touchdown on the first drive, but they certainly scored points, and then they got the pick 6. So final stats, they're impressive, and let's go over to Chris Hoke with them.
Yes, Bob, let's take a look at the final stats presented by JP Roofing. And when you look at this game today, the stats were dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The one that stands out to me is the rushing attempts and yards. The Steelers controlled the line of scrimmage like we talked about. 37 carries for 129 yards with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3.5 yards average. Cleveland Browns, the #1 rushing offense in the NFL, only 75 yards rushing, 3.4 yard average. Another one that stood out to me here, the turnovers. Only no turnovers by the Steelers. Remember, the Cleveland Browns led the NFL coming into this game with 12 takeaways, 0 today. They controlled the ball. You see their time of possession. The Steelers had the ball more than the Cleveland Browns by 8 minutes. And this was really just controlling the game in every statistic here by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, it was, and it sets up a nice stretch now, because this is going to be a tough one for the Steelers, as they have today, then they have the Titans, then they have the Ravens, then they have the Cowboys, and the next 3 are on the road. We'll have more of our analysis, plus stand by, because we're going to start taking your calls here pretty soon on a special Steelers edition of the Sports Call. It's all coming up right here on your television home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, KDKA TV.
Your wireless, your rules, your savings. When you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together, you could save up to $400 a year. So choose from flexible wireless data options on the most reliable network, now with 5G included at no extra cost. Current Xfinity customers, add Xfinity Mobile and save on your other Xfinity services. Plus, you can also save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Call to learn more.
You want top quality roofing?
Well, I think JP Roofing was probably one of the best companies I ever worked with. The sales team was very friendly and made the whole process easy from start to finish. You could tell that they cared about the customer. It was just a great experience.
Joe and his team were fantastic. Very polite, knowledgeable, did their job in one day. I can't recommend them enough.
If you're looking to get your roof replaced, hire JP Roofing and Siding. Quality long remembered at a fair price.
This year, I'm voting by mail. Voting by mail is easy, safe, and secure.
And you can drop it off in person or by the mail.
Provide your email, and you'll get updates along the way.
Go to votespa.com to learn more about how to vote by mail.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Heinz Field, PNC Park, a rugged skyline.
From our offices in Gateway Center, we see the heart of Pittsburgh. But even the strongest people in the most resilient cities sometimes have bad things happen. The attorneys at Bordas & Bordas understand this and are proud of the results we've obtained for our clients. But we're most proud that we get to fight for justice in this great city. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Proud partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
FanDuel Sportsbook makes it easy to get your winnings fast. But to make it even easier, we trained the world's fastest bird to deliver Will's payout to him.
I love you, Payout Falcon. And he's a fan of ham.
FanDuel Sportsbook. Get a risk-free first bet.
Welcome back to Steelers Extra Point, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
We talked a lot about the Steelers stopping the Browns' run game, but the Steelers' run game was very efficient today. James Conner went over 100 yards for the third time in 4 games, and when you look at a 5.1 average, one of the best that you're going to do. In fact, 3 of those 20 carries were third down runs and conversions. When you do that, you keep possession of the ball, makes a big difference. Here's James Conner after the game at Heinz Field.
So the career, I'm not sure. It's been a short career so far. I just try to run hard. It was a must-win game for us. It was AFC North football, so I just try to execute, trust what I see, run hard, and it worked out for us today.
Jerry Dulac, Post-Gazette.
Hey, James, it looked like that little delay was kind of working a lot. Was that by design or just kind of the way it worked out? You seem to be having a lot of success with that one.
Which delay? What are you saying?
Well, it looked like that little delay handoff a couple times. Looked like you guys were having success. Was that something that you designed to do for them, or just is it kind of routine?
A little bit of both. You know, it was on the game plan, so we thought it could work, and that's also routine for us. So we just try to execute. You know, our coach had me well prepared this week. Coach Falk, it was on me. We had a good week of preparation, and it always shows. And that's how we get evaluated by the end of the week. So. Yeah, Coach Falk had me ready to go for today, and it was just a good day.
Anthony Jaskowski, Pittsburgh Sports Express. Can you hear us?
Yeah. It's not on. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Dave, how would you overall just grade your offensive line, especially between the tackles today, where it just seemed like you got a really good push, especially against an interior defender like Larry Ogunjobi?
Yeah, the Browns had a great defense. You know, but everything starts up front with the line. You know, our O-line, our tight ends, they get things going. So, you know, any type of success that we have in the run game, it's all up to them. So we got some movement up front versus a very good D-line and a good defense. Just played hard.
Last question, Brian Backup.
All right, that's James Conner taking advantage of an offensive line that did not have David DeCastro. Still, Kevin Dotson, 4th-round pick, doing a great job over there. You have Chooks Okorafor. Villanueva had, to me, one of his better seasons. You don't hear too much about him, but he's kept Ben clean, and he's opened up some holes. All right, listen, we have a big event coming up on Friday night, and we do this every year, only this year it's going to be done virtually. It is Rock Steelers Style, the annual event, and it airs on Steelers digital and social platforms this Friday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. I'm happy to be part of that as an MC as well, and you can bid on items from game-used memorabilia to autographed jerseys. Place your bids or make a donation at Steelers.com/bid now, and all proceeds benefit the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program and the Cancer Caring Center. They do a great job. We'd love to see you on Friday night, 8 p.m. on Steelers digital media sites. We'll take a break, come back with more right here live on the postgame show. It's the Extra Point following a Steelers 31-point win.
It's Ford Truck Month, and if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now, get great deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 43 years.
Get a 2020 F-150 with $10,200 in total savings and a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Visit a neighborhood Ford store dealer near you.
With advanced technology available on the Nissan Rogue, you'll be equipped to help protect the moments that matter most. This is tech that gives you confidence. Get a low $199 per month lease on Rogue, or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 14 models.
It's Ford Truck Month. And if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now get great deals on the trucks as tough as the people who drive them.
Get a Ranger with 0% for 60 months plus 1,000 trade assist cash and a 2-year maintenance plan. Visit a neighborhood Ford store dealer near you.
Welcome back to Steelers Extra Point, presented by Neighborhood Ford Store.
All right, well, we talked about the easier schedule the Steelers have had. It's not going to be that way moving forward. Chris Hoke, let's look at the road ahead.
Road ahead, brought to you by Neighborhood Ford Store. There are some big games on the horizon starting next week with the Tennessee Titans. Today you saw the big battle. They went to 5-0 with a 42-36 win over the Houston Texans. They're going to have to deal with the #1 rusher in the NFL, Derrick Henry, who had 22 carries for 212 yards today. The next week they're playing at the Baltimore Ravens. This is a big game against the Ravens today. They went to 5-1 with a big win, the 2-point win over the Philadelphia Eagles. And then again on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. And they will be playing tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. So a big few weeks to look forward to, Bob, for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and Andy Dalton's going to be that Cowboy quarterback, not Dak Prescott. So we have a lot to get into, and we'll do that with you next, because coming up, it is a special Steelers edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're going to take your calls at 412-575-2600. You can also tweet me at KDPomp, at Chris, at HokeyBro76. We'll do that when we continue. Thanks for joining us on the Extra Point as the Steelers put up pasting on the Cleveland Browns, who have not won in Pittsburgh in 17 years. 38-7. Your final score, Pittsburgh 5-0. We continue after this.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs. Right now, get 0% APR for 75 months or $2,750 customer cash on the purchase of a new 2020 Sportage.
It's easy and quick. You don't even have to leave home.
If you sign up for a mail-in ballot, here's what needs to be done.
1, complete your ballot.
2, put your ballot in the small envelope labeled Official Election Ballot and seal it.
3, put that envelope into the larger envelope and seal it too.
4, sign the outer envelope, date it, drop it in the mail, and you're done.
Come on, Pennsylvania.
Every vote counts.
Mail in your ballot today.
How would Joe Biden rebuild the economy? Invest in ports, roads, and bridges. More rural broadband. A $15 minimum wage. End the trade war and rebuild manufacturing. Tax cuts up to $400,000 in income. Invest in the auto industry and make Buy American a national cause. With Joe Biden, we'll build back better. Unite the country is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's a scandal around every corner with political operative Devlin Robinson. Fellow Republicans have accused Robinson of taking thousands of dollars in exchange for political favors in a pay-to-play scheme. And Robinson was the top advisor to disgraced former Congressman Tim Murphy. Robinson never spoke out, and he was rewarded with tens of thousands of dollars from Murphy.
I'm not ashamed of taking his campaign contributions.
Dirty politics, Devlin Robinson. He's not for you.
Shout out to everybody in the 412.
Big news from Wiz Khalifa, Saturday on JP Roofing Fan Nation.
Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Bob Pompeani, Chris Hoke, and welcome to a special Steelers edition of the Sports Call. This show regularly airs on Pittsburgh CW 7 nights a week, 10:35. So call us on the hottest topics of Pittsburgh sports every single night at 10:35. We take those calls. Chris Hoke, I want to call upon you first to give us just your thoughts about the first 5 weeks of this season, including today. There were some concerns last week when Philadelphia threw down the field and made some big third down conversions, even though the Steelers had him pinned third and long several times. This week, totally different situation. So far, 5 weeks in, your take on this team?
Well, you can look at it and say the Steelers at times played down to their competition. In the first 4 weeks, teams that they should have beat, they did beat them, but it was much more difficult than it should have been. And then today, a team that many had thought that the Cleveland Browns could come in and beat the Steelers, they put a licking on the Cleveland Browns today, and it was done in the trenches, controlled by the defensive line of the Steelers, the offensive line, the #1 rushing offense in the NFL coming into Heinz Field. The defense, the front seven, completely just broke down that offensive unit for the Cleveland Browns. And then the other side of the ball, James Conner running for over 100 yards for the third time this season in 5 games, Bob. And this was just a well-played, very clean game by the Steelers.
A lot to like about it. We'll discuss. Remember the number. Mark it down. It's 412-575-2600. Tweet us at KDPump, at HokeyBro76. So we're going to take a break, come back, and open up the phone lines to you next. Your thoughts on a 38-7 win coming up right here.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs.
Right now, get 0% APR for 75 months or $2,750 customer cash on the purchase of a new 2020 Sportage.
This year, I'm voting by mail. Voting by mail is easy, safe, and secure.
And you can drop it off in person or by the mail.
Provide your email, and you'll get updates along the way.
Go to votespa.com to learn more about how to vote by mail.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Does your family need a little fun? Get into Pool City to bring out the smiles. Pool tables, ping pong, air hockey, shuffleboard, and more. It's easy to socially distance with your own bar and save up to 50% on comfy home theater seats and sectionals. Only at Pool City.
At BMW, we didn't make just one SAV. We made the ultimate range of SAVs. With unmatched power, luxury, and performance, the BMW X-Range is prepared for any road you travel. No matter who you are, no matter where you're going, no matter what's next, there's an X to take you there. Lease a 2020 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i for $459 a month.
Don't lose precious memories or one-of-a-kind keepsakes to water damage. All basements are prone to moisture. Bubbling paint and this white chalky substance are sure signs you may need waterproofing. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Call Keystone Basement Systems for the most advanced basement waterproofing. For a free inspection, go to KeystoneBasementSystems.com/KDKA. Keystone Basement Systems for poor weather peace of mind.
All right, welcome back. We continue right here at 412-575-2600. Bob Pompeani and Chris Hoke with you as we give you the breaking news. You heard Mike Tomlin say afterwards, Chris, that this was a significant injury to Devin Bush. According to Adam Schefter, it is an injury that is going to require season-ending surgery on his ACL. That's a big loss for the Steelers to try to overcome. That kid played well last year in his rookie season. I think big things were expected of this year, off to a good start, and now it looks like his season's over.
Yeah, this is the tough one for the Steelers. He's the one who's getting the calls and communicating with the front end and the back end of the defense. He was the one who was really helping this defense, playing #1 against the run in the NFL with the front and then him running sideline to sideline. So there's a big loss for the Steelers. But when you look at it now, it happened early in the season, trying to see the silver lining of this. This is a 6-month injury for a guy like Devin Bush, and he'll be back next season. Should be back for training camp if all goes well.
All right, let's go out to Tim in Fayette County, who joins us here. Our first caller today. Hey, hello, Tim. How are you?
I'm good, Bob.
Good.
How you doing, Hoke?
Doing great.
I just have one. That's great. I'm so glad the Steelers are 5-0, but man, the loss with Bush. I was just wondering how you guys think they're going to fill that position in, or what would they do?
Well, I think they have 2 guys who they have had here. One thing about the Steelers that I know, Tim, and Chris, you will attest to this, they have guys they develop, and it takes sometimes a while for them to develop, but they're in there getting reps every day. I think they feel pretty comfortable with Spillane and Ulysses Gilbert, two guys who, you know, have had a whole season under their belts here. That does not mean that Kevin Colbert, who has an eye for talent, can't go out and acquire someone. I just think they like what they have for now, and we'll see how it goes. What about you?
And there's a special feeling on the South Side right now, and this is really the next man up mentality. You're seeing Deontay Johnson went down, Chase Claypool steps in, and now we see he has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. You talk about the David DeCastro going down. Kevin Dotson steps in there, and he's playing good football. On each other side of the ball, you're going to have Devin Bush go down, and you're going to have guys that are going to step in. Robert Spillane, you're going to see Vince Williams getting a heavier load. But you know what? You have that front line. You have Cam Hayward. You have Stephon Tuitt, Alu, TJ Watt, Bud Dupree. They are going to be able to help out a lot by controlling the line of scrimmage and allowing whoever fills in at that position for Devin Bush to be more free and play really clean.
All right, let's go to Beachview. Our next caller is Angela. Hello, Angela. How are you?
Very good, guys. This is exactly what happens when you win the battle at the line of scrimmage. The offense kept the Cleveland D off balance. Great play calling and execution. A lot of misdirection. Chooks kept Garrett relatively quiet most of the game. The defense gave Mayfield a lot of different looks and made him look like a deer in the headlights. Definitely more man coverage, and that worked well for us, and we stuffed those third down conversion attempts.
I always think that, Chris, we should get Angela a telestrator and have her do a segment. She knows a lot about football. Every time she comes, she brings it.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I always love hearing her breakdown on these call-in shows. When you talk about that defense now on 3rd down, really what stood out to me was how they disguised their coverage before the ball was snapped and pre-snap. You talk about playing more man underneath and showing that 2-shell cover 2 on the top of the defense, and they were going to show some zone and then go to man, and Baker Mayfield was getting confused because before the ball was snapped, he could not read the coverage, and at that he had to make a split-second call, and he made the wrong calls more than he made the right.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We have plenty of callers coming up. We have a line open for you as well. Call 412-575-2600. Air your opinions about what happened today as the Steelers move to 5-0. We're also going to look ahead to that big matchup against the Tennessee Titans. 2 undefeated teams looking for the #1 seed in the AFC. We'll talk about it as we continue live right here on KDKA.
Grit, determination, desire to be the best, or as we call it, going to work. But good luck getting the job done without the right tools. You'll need an F-150 with best-in-class payload and plenty of capability to do it right. That's how you become the best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh and the official truck of your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Your wireless, your rules, your savings. When you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together, you could save up to $400 a year. So choose from flexible wireless data options on the most reliable network, now with 5G included at no extra cost. Current Xfinity customers, add Xfinity Mobile and save on your other Xfinity services. Plus, you can also save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Call to learn more.
With advanced technology available on the Nissan Rogue, you'll be equipped to help protect the moments that matter most. This is tech that gives you confidence. Get a low $199 per month lease on Rogue, or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 14 models.
All right, welcome back. We continue right here live on KDKA TV. Steelers win 38-7 to get to 5-0. Chris, I want to peek ahead a little bit just to that Tennessee game because it's intriguing. The Steelers come with the stingiest run defense in the NFL. And you look at what the Tennessee Titans have done. First of all, Ryan Tannehill is playing out of his mind. He has numbers better than Patrick Mahomes over the last 15 games that he's played. But the run game is where it starts with them. Derrick Henry against this Steeler defense, how do you think it's going to pan out?
Well, Derrick Henry's a grown man. When you talk about him running the ball, how big he is, this is a big man like Chase Claypool with a little more weight, running at you play after play after play, and he does not slow down. He has great eyes, great anticipation of holes opening up. And what that does for Ryan Tannehill is he allows him to then go with the play action, and it frees up the receivers, and he's able to throw the ball. I mean, you talk about Ryan Tannehill having great numbers. His numbers are similar or even better than Patrick Mahomes over the last 2 years. So this is going to be a big-time challenge for the Steelers when they go into Tennessee, a very confident Titans team.
No question. Let's go out to Duquesne Donnie, who joins us next on the hotline. What's up, Duquesne Donnie?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, it's really a shame about Devin Bush. But like Tomlin says, you know, next man up. And if we could win at least 2 out of the next 3, if not all 3, I really think we'll be okay. What about you?
I want to ask Chris something that I've been thinking about. And, Chris, this is because Mike Tomlin, who does a great job of keeping in the moment. When this Tennessee Titan COVID situation changed their schedule, he did not have an overreaction to it. But I'm wondering, internally, those players, you know, this changed the bye week that they would have had heading into the Ravens game, and instead gave the Ravens a bye week that they did not have. Now they do have heading, you know, into the Steelers game. Is there any kind of friction at all from that point of view?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, they're probably a little frustrated, but they're never going to voice that frustration in the media. He's not one to have newspeak. He's not the one to go out there and air his frustration or him being angry to the media and let it go and be in the press. So Coach Tomlin right now, he is about firing up and motivating his players and keeping them focused on the next game. He always talks about the next game. He doesn't get caught up in everything else that the media does, and that's what makes him such a great coach.
Yeah, it really is. Keeps in the moment, doesn't let that stuff. He says, whatever the schedule is, that's what we do. Yep. Let's go to Mark in Ambridge, who joins us right now here on a special Steelers edition of the Sports Call. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Bob. How you guys doing? I just got home. Big game, man. Big game. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Tomlin said something about changing up the defense with Devin Bush out. Can you move a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick up the middle linebacker or go to like a Tampa 2 defense to make up for this?
Chris, they do have plans for Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
They've been utilizing him in that role during practice. What do you think?
I don't think they'll move Minkah Fitzpatrick up, but what you're going to see linebacker by committee. You're going to see guys filling in like a Robert Spillane more on running downs. You're going to see a guy like Marcus Allen coming on passing downs, using him more of a coverage guy. So you'll see that over the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, going to a big game like this, the Steelers will kind of fill their way through how they're going to fill the role that Devin Bush has played, where he's a 3-down player. And so it'll unfold and play out, and we'll know really where the Steelers are going to do without Devin Bush over the next few weeks.
Mike Tomlin always likes to talk about globally speaking. Well, we're global too. We have callers from all over the world here. We have somebody now, Xavier from Colorado, who joins us. What's up, Xavier? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing. I'm really excited. I had a lot of my friends over at work underestimating the Steelers a little bit, so I'm excited that they had such a great stride. And I guess my one question would be that, like, how did they do it, like, against what was supposedly the #1 ranked rushing offense?
Right. Well, they shut him down totally, Xavier. Thanks for calling from Colorado. And that's what that was going to be the game, within the game. And whoever won that game typically would have an advantage. And Cleveland had no traction whatsoever. They stopped this team from Chris rushing. They averaged like 135 yards minimum per game, and they shut him down to 75 total. I know they don't have Nick Chubb, but they still have Kareem Hunt, and they still commit to the run. They got no traction today.
Well, Nick Chubb, you know, he's out, and you had Kareem Hunt, who was averaging 5 yards a carry. Listen, I've been in that locker room. I've been in that defensive meeting room, and when everyone's talking about this offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, the #1 rushing offense in the NFL, you say, okay, you take that challenge and you're ready to play. And the defensive front seven for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they took the challenge, they went to the field, and they were showing that they're a proud bunch, that they were going to go out and out-physical this offensive line and this offensive unit for the Cleveland Browns, and they did that for 60 minutes.
They did. More calls on the way when we come back. You're watching a special Steelers edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Again, this show airs every night on Pittsburgh CW at 10:35. We invite you to join us then. Back with more of your calls and opinions next, right here.
can't believe we're doing this.
Gus, you're not scared, are you?
I don't like thunder. Hope there are no monsters.
Did you say eek?
Ooh, Eekaboo, the new scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yeah, with top prizes of 10 grand.
That's a monster of a prize. Keep on scratching.
The Ford. Unrivaled design meets pure power. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Contact your local BMW center about the Ford today.
Jason Waller, founder of Power Home Solar, America's fastest growing solar company. We've teamed up with Generac, the nation's largest provider of backup energy systems. Together with our American-made solar panels, you'll lower your energy bill, saving thousands of dollars every year, and you'll protect your home from being without power. Make the call 1-800-SOLAR-POWER and save $2,000. Generac and Power Home Solar, the new #1 team in home energy. Let the sun shine in.
The most common question we hear at Fragasso Financial Advisors is, am I on track for retirement? Retirement looks different for everyone. The key is to focus on your unique goals and evaluate whether your strategy is appropriate. Reduce the uncertainty. Get a retirement stress test of your financial plan and investment strategy. Call or visit FragassoAdvisors.com.
Fragasso Financial Advisors. We guide for life.
We're rolling along with more of your calls and tweets here at KDKA TV. This is your place to do it after games that we have on. And we have, you know, Chris, I know you would like this caller because you like steak. We have T-Bone in Bell Vernon. Why not bring on a T-Bone on a Sunday afternoon following a big win? Go ahead, T-Bone.
Hey, Bob. What's up, man? Hey, Hoke, how you doing, man?
Doing great.
Good.
Hey, guys, listen, man, I just want to congratulate the Steelers, man, on a heck of a win today, man, especially their defense, man. I tell you what, man, this is a defense I've seen. I haven't seen this defense from the Steelers in quite a while. You know what, if I could think back, like, I would have to think back probably to, like, the 2008 season when they went to the Super Bowl and they won. You know, that was that defense. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about, man. And to see, you know, this defense rise above the occasion, man, and do what they got to do, man. Today was total domination. You know, but my question is really, I want to look towards, like, Tennessee. And everybody's talking about Derrick Henry. And, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Derrick Henry has had, what, 3 200 rushing yard games, right?
Yeah, he's, you know, he's one of those guys that, you know, not only can he beat you tackle to tackle, he can show you speed. He had a 94-yard touchdown run today. He's had a lot of those in his career. Chris, you were part of that 2008 defense. Let's compare what you saw from this so far, what you experienced from your group back in that time.
Well, it's very similar on both sides of the ball. You talk about defensively, we had a vicious pass rush like they do now. We were able to smash the run like they're doing now. We have defensive backs that can cover and who can create turnovers, which we did. You look on the offensive side of the ball. Back then, Ben wasn't throwing the ball 35 times a game. He was throwing it like he is now, 25-ish times a game. Today, 22 throws. And we were able to run the football, control the line of scrimmage. Exactly what they're doing right now. So it's very similar identities to now compared to 2008.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Another hotline call from Will in McKees Rocks. Will, the stage is yours.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you today?
We're good.
Oh, good. Coach, I have a question for you, my friend. This defense, I know everybody's talking about it, but I wanted to ask you, can you see any comparisons to this defense this season to the big nasty D defense when you played?
There's a lot of comparisons like I just talked about. I mean, the big nasty D had some great outside linebackers, and we were able to slam the run, and that's what they're doing right now. And they got T.J. Watt, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and Bud Dupree equally as good, and with strong guys in the middle who can play the run and the pass. So that was where really it was met, was at the line of scrimmage, and they have top-notch players there again, just like we did in 2008.
Our next destination is Mount Washington. Vanessa, you're on the hotline. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm just wondering if you think that the lack of fans in the stadium is affecting the players in any sort of way, negatively or positively.
The fans that are there are very loud, and I think the players have acknowledged, Chris, that there was a difference when they were there compared to the piped-in music that they had. I still believe they could have more fans there. I hope that's the case moving forward. Your thoughts?
Well, I definitely think they can have more fans in the stadium right now, especially because it's open air. But when you look at it, whether it's 60,000 plus or 5,500, the players are just happy to have fans there and to hear people cheering for them. People don't understand how much we draw from the energy of Steeler Nation. In that Heinz Field Stadium, we love it when they cheer. When it's third down, they're loud and they're cheering us on. That inspires us to go out there and play even better. So having fans there right now, even if it's 5,500, is completely motivating for the Steelers team.
All right, let's go to New Brighton, Pennsylvania. Keith joins us right now. Hello, Keith.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on, Keith. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. Yeah, me and my wife, first of all, nice game. Good game, Bob, Chris. Really good. Steelers, corner, great running. Like seeing them running that way. But the Claypool thing with the nickname Mapletron, my wife come up with Totem Pole, you know, because he's tall and it's pool, and since he don't like the Mapletron.
Well, I mean, whatever he is, he's productive. Let's call him that, productive Tron. I mean, because 6 touchdowns in his first 5 games, 4 last week alone in what was an AFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. And I think now, you know, without Deontay Johnson, and keep that in mind, they won today impressively without Deontay Johnson in that lineup and without David DeCastro. So, Chris, people are going to notice Claypool now, and they're going to respond to Claypool now, which puts opportunity, and we saw James Washington get a touchdown today as a result of that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's quickly becoming wide receiver #1, Bob, and he scored another touchdown today on the jet sweep, getting to the pylon and showing a knack for getting that ball across the goal line. You talk about a guy, he's the total package. He's got height, he's got speed, he's got length, he's got everything you want in a #1 receiver, and you're going to see Ben going to him more and more throughout the season. I believe this is the beginning of a well-scripted story for Chase Claypool.
You know, there were some great wide receivers in this year's draft. 10 of them were chosen ahead of Chase Claypool, and a lot of people made a lot of the pick because J.K. Dobbins was available, and the Ravens took him after the Steelers did not. And, you know, all you can do is look at what you have. And the Steelers, I know this, Chris, they know their wide receivers. You know, they can go down as far as 6th round and come up with productive guys. 3rd, 4th rounders have been productive. Wherever they pick a wide receiver, they've had a lot of success.
They've had a ton of success, and you look at it year after year after year. They lose Antonio Brown. What are they going to do? They bring in Deontay Johnson. The next year they bring in Chase Claypool. I mean, it's one year after another. They got some great scouts. Starts with Kevin Colbert. He goes out and evaluates these players. They're able to find players anywhere throughout the country to bring in, and they find productive wide receivers week in and week out on Sundays.
We have Tim in Greensburg. We also have John in Irwin. Westmoreland County going to be heard from next when we continue. We're live with our post-game coverage of the Steelers' 38-7 win to get to 5 wins, no losses, setting up a big showdown next week against the Tennessee Titans. You're going to see it right here as you take a look at our bobblehead collection over in where Chris is on the nightly sports call step. We're back with more of your calls and opinions right here on KDKA TV.
How do you make safe safer? We take extraordinary measures because at AHN, it's safety first, always.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs.
Right now, get 0% APR for 75 months or $2,750 customer cash on the purchase of a new 2020 Sportage.
Heinz Field, PNC Park, a rugged skyline. From our offices in Gateway Center, we see the heart of Pittsburgh. But even the strongest people in the most resilient cities sometimes have bad things happen. The attorneys at Bordas & Bordas understand this and are proud of the results we've obtained for our clients. But we're most proud that we get to fight for justice in this great city. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Proud partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not much. How about you?
Are you answering my text in person?
I am, yeah.
LOL, come on in.
Get a low $209 per month lease on Altima, or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 14 models.
Well, the Steelers and the Tennessee Titans, two best records in the AFC, both undefeated, 5-0. Both will go head-to-head next week right here on KDKA. Let's continue our conversation by going out to the phone lines now. We ask you to call us at 412-575-2600. We have John and Irwin. Hey, John, what's up?
Bob, love you. You know that. Just want to talk about Claypool. Is he for real? A couple great games in a row, and the injury to Devin Bush. Want to get your take on that. And finally, just saw Richie Walsh out there. Guys looking great. I'll hang up. Hear what you got to say.
Yeah, always does. You know, that's a prerequisite coming in here. You got to bring it up, and Chris has done that too. So that's what we do. Thanks for the call. We appreciate that. The Bush injury is a tough one, just as it was with Ryan Shazier. There are certain guys that come along. The Steelers traded up to 10 to get him. You saw what he did sideline to sideline last year, and now, you know, you saw him getting back more into coverage. He was evolving into this complete inside linebacker, and that's going to be derailed, at least for now, into next season, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be derailed until next season. It's given him an opportunity now to sit back and study more. I believe he'll come back an even better football player, because now he won't only be physically gifted, but he'll be mentally sharper as he understands the defense better, as he can study the film and learn by sitting back over the next year. Kind of like what happened with Ben Roethlisberger by being out last season, and now I believe he's mentally sharper in this season than he has been throughout his career because of sitting back and studying, Bob.
Tim in Greensburg is our next caller. Hey, Tim, go ahead. Your opinion.
Hey. Well, I was just wondering, the fellow who took Bush's place, I was sort of impressed with his play. Could you comment who he is?
Yeah, they brought him in last year in training camp, Robert Spillane. You know, he's been around the NFL at different teams. One of those guys. You know, I like to talk about guys who get opportunities, and sometimes you never get those, Chris. You can identify with that. You had a long career, and you had to work your way to do it. But when you get those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And now he's going to be given one, not unlike what we saw last week with Travis Fulgham, the wide receiver, who got an opportunity because of so many injuries to the Eagles' wide receiving core.
When you're an undrafted free agent or a guy who gets drafted in the lower rounds and you get your opportunity, you have to take advantage of it, because you may only get one opportunity. And Robert Spillane's getting this opportunity now, and he's going to have a chance to go out there and play in this #1 defense. And if he continues to make plays like he did today and he improves, he can carve out a spot on this defense or another team for years to come. It's exactly what I did in 2004. When my opportunity came, I went out there and started on the #1 defense in the NFL and was able to play good enough to carve out a place on a very, very good defense on a very, very good team for another 7 years.
Look at that, 11-year career. Nothing was given to you. You worked your way to it, and congrats on that. So let's go out to Bill in New Brighton. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Bob?
What's going on, Bill?
Not too much. Hey, just wanted to bring up, I don't know if you want to take this as like a small point or just something I noticed with Connor. First 5 weeks of the season, I see he's obviously getting, you know, his yards, and he's making defenses weaker after the second half. But the first handful of touches, even on jet sweeps, he rarely cuts it to the outside. He always runs it up the middle, and he gets stopped for like 2, 3, 4 yards. And then you'll see he'll break one for, you know, first down. I just don't know. I haven't watched him a lot from Pitt because I'm a Penn State guy. But I didn't know if it was something that could be coached, or if he sees the outside lanes, he takes it, or if that's just the way the playing calling is. I just wanted to get you and Chris's thoughts on that.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. You have the play call, but also he is not a sideline-to-sideline runner. He's a guy who likes to put his foot in the ground and get downfield. I thought today, Bob, he ran better than he's run all season. You saw him shift his feet and make people miss and get downhill, and that's when he's at his best. Today, he is getting to form, and like I said, 3 100-yard games in the last 5 games, and he's getting a lot of yards after contact, and that is the James Conner we have become accustomed to seeing on the football field.
I want to talk about that offensive line as we take a look at some of these pictures here from today's game, Chris. We saw Kevin Dotson, another kid, 4th-round kid. We knew that he could be really good in the run game. Wondered about the pass game, but, man, he's been solid. Chuks Okorafor steps in for the injury that they had to Zach Banner, and he has been terrific. You really haven't heard too much. I look at the end of the day, is the quarterback under intense pressure like Baker Mayfield was today? The answer has been no. So Villanueva, I think, again, just under the radar, having a really solid season at left tackle as well. This line has been very good.
They've been very good, and they're keeping Ben clean, which they have to do, and they're being challenged this week to do that because Ben can't take a lot of hits. And then they're opening up these holes, and what I love to see is you're seeing today Al Villanueva, Bob, pulling from one side of the line of scrimmage to the other, and he's opening up holes. You're seeing your guards pull and sealing the edge. That's where I've been very impressed. Not only can they run between the tackles, you're seeing linemen pulling and sealing edges and giving James Conner the ability to run right off tackle or right off that D-gap downhill, and that's why they're being successful in the run, because he's able to put his foot in the ground, and there is a large lane there. Even you and I can run through that.
I don't speak for yourself. You could, not me. I took this job because I could talk a lot faster than I could run. Trust me on that one. All right, let's go out to the state of California. We have Susan on the line. Hey, Susan, what's up?
Hi, I love you guys, and I'm so happy to be on.
Thanks, Susan. Anytime.
I think the Steelers did so good today. They really corrected that 3rd down defense.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally opposite of last week. There were concerns last week after the Eagles kind of shredded them. But also, I think, Chris, after they blitzed a lot on 1st and 2nd, setting up 3rd and long, I think they kind of got a little passive, thinking that, okay, that's a big task to convert 3rd and 17, 3rd and 14. But you got Carson Wentz, who's had a pretty good ability to do that, unlike a lot of quarterbacks in this league. So he was dangerous, and he made plays, too.
And this happens in the NFL, Bob. You come up into a game, you're playing against really the worst quarterback in the NFL, and Carson Wentz to that point. His percentage of completion down the field was number 32 in the NFL out of 32 teams. So you come in maybe a little more complacent, a little more relaxed than you should. Then you get challenged by your coach. You come out, you scheme Baker Mayfield. You're able to confuse him by your disguises and your movement pre-snap before the ball is snapped. And then you're able to go out there and your pass rush is better. I believe, even though they had 5 sacks last week and 4 today, there was more consistent pressure on Baker Mayfield than there was on Carson Wentz a week prior to this game. And that's why when you have the defensive front and the defensive back tied together, that's when they're at their best.
All right, we're going to take a break here. Come back, try to squeeze in more calls as we go along here. Remember, if you're trying to call now, don't get in. Call us tonight, 10:35 on Pittsburgh CW. Steelers 38-7 winners today over the Browns. They're 5-0. Business is picking up. We'll be right back.
It's Ford Truck Month, and if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now, get great deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 43 years.
Get a 2020 F-150 with $10,200 in total savings and a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan. Visit a neighborhood Ford store dealer near you.
Your rules, your savings. When you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together, you could save up to $400 a year. So choose from flexible wireless data options on the most reliable network, now with 5G included at no extra cost. Current Xfinity customers, add Xfinity Mobile and save on your other Xfinity services. Plus, you can also save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Call to learn more.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs.
Right now, get 0% APR for 75 months or $27.50 customer cash on the purchase of a new 2020 Sportage.
All right, welcome back. Let's go back to the phone line, squeeze a couple in. We got John in Mount Lebanon. John, go ahead.
Bob, how are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Good. I was calling in to see what you thought about an extension on Tomlin. I think he's doing a hell of a job, and I think we should, blow him, keep him, whatever we got to do. Blow him, keep him, whatever we got to do to keep the guy.
I think Mike Tomlin, Chris, doesn't get enough credit, really. I know people want championships every year. They want playoff wins every year. It's not that easy. A lot of what happens with a football team has to do with your health, and we saw that last year firsthand. And when things start piling up, it's difficult. But his testament as a coach, I think, and you could pick apart clock management. We all do that. That's fine. But I think he keeps teams together. He's never had a losing season. That's hard to do in any league, especially over the course of his entire career.
Well, he's shown that he's an elite coach. And what are you going to do? You're going to fire him. Who are you going to bring in? And he is, if not the best coach in the NFL, he is the second or third best coach in the NFL. And he just does a great job of keeping teams together, like you said. Even in the midst of a tough season last year with Ben Roethlisberger, a lot of other injuries throughout the year, he's able to keep the team together. You talk about being able to manage guys like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, guys that we thought were fine when they were here, but they leave and you realize the kind of problem they were on new teams. Tomlin was able to keep the team together even with those personalities. He wins year in, year out. He is an elite coach in the NFL, Bob.
You brought up Le'Veon Bell. Give me 30 seconds because we're up against the end of the show. You surprised that the Jets got rid of him, and you surprised he ended up in Kansas City?
No, I said here on the show, I believe, and also on the radio, that I thought that once he left Pittsburgh, where he could have been an all-time great, he is now going to be a journeyman. He is now in Kansas City. He signed a one-year deal. He might not be there more than a year or two. He'll be somewhere else. At the end of his career, he'll be a journeyman and nothing more.
All right, that's going to do it for our program. Hokie Bros 76, thanks very much as always. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Bob.
It's a big one next week. It's the Steelers and the Titans, 5-0 versus 5-0. We got you covered all week long on KDKA TV and Pittsburgh CW, and we'll see you again next Sunday. And for all of us here at KDKA TV and Pittsburgh CW, I'm Bob Pompeani. Thanks for joining us today. We have plenty more coming up tonight on CW 1035, more of this program, and then after the late news, it's the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. We're always offering up a lot of opinions about the Steelers and all things Pittsburgh sports. Thanks again for joining us. Stick around next. It's the CBS Evening News right here on KDKA.